What is up, everybody? Today I'm bringing you guys a highly requested topic, and that's going over every single ability from every single BE memory dim card for the Vital Bracelet Arena app. This is a doc created by Blade. I'll try and leave a link to it in the description, but it's so helpful in helping you get the correct teams you want for competitive battles. Like I was talking about, every single dim card has like a ability pool that the Digimon pull from. So today we're going to be listing over some of the good ones and kind of giving a brief overview of the mons that you can pair with them. So basically you guys can get the mons that you want with the abilities they want for the competitive battle situations and team buildings that you want. So to start things off, we're going to start off with the Imperial Dramon dim. This is the dim that came bundled with the Angormon pack. And it's a bit of an outdated dim. We're going to see a lot of these similar abilities. Normally what we're going to see is a lot of these SR and SSR abilities are what you're going to be shooting for. This thing, its best ability, I would say, is probably something like the Friend HP boost by 15%, or even the Double Cross. We're going to see a double attack boost by 12. That's a very popular ability in these older BE memories, but it's still good. I think a lot of the mons on the Imperial Dramon dim have very, very high base stats. If you guys want me to go over a review of like base stats and what dims have like the best stats for competitive battles, let me know about that in the comments, and I'll try and make that in a future video. But yeah, it's a pretty outdated dim. I think the Imperial Dramon Paladin mode is probably one of the better mons. It has a really high base HP, and Double Cross is pretty good. I like the HP boost on that guy as well if you have like a vaccination partner. So for a double vaccine team, that's pretty nice. Going into the Digimon 20th anniversary dim, I actually have this dim, but I have not actually used it yet. But again, it's another one of those really outdated dims. The best one by far is the Raise His Own BP by 20%. So you see, like, this is so much better. We have a unconditional raise BP by 20%, and then we have a conditional raise BP by 15. So like all these other abilities here, you don't really need to look at them that much. But this BP by 20%, this is going to be the best ability for this dim card. And I think like the Blitzgraymon is probably the best Digimon from this dim. So going into the Angormon dim, there are a couple decent abilities on the Angormon dim, notably lifelink. Any dim card that gets lifelink, really good. So lowers opponent's characters by HP by 20% at the start of battle if you have lower HP than the main characters. So you can go like a double lifelink team, or like a lifelink team with like a really aggressive partner that was using like a double cross that gives you like a high double attack damage, and basically just like steal a KO from your opponent's lead early so they can't double attack you back. It's a very common combo in competitive battles. But I actually really just like the enhanced raises your own HP unconditionally. You don't have to have a good teammate or anything by 25%. It's just going to be really good. And yeah, I think that Angormon dim's, I think it's underrated. It's just a lot of the mons on the Angormon dim don't have like the highest base stats. So going to the Angormon dim, so the Angormon and the Jellymon dim are definitely dated. You can see their like end stage ability is going to be a double guard. So double guard and double cross. So the double guard is going to lower your damage from double attacks by 12%, which is honestly not a great ability, especially with how like aggressive the game has gotten over the past couple years. It's okay. Raises ally character's AP by 20% is an underrated ability on this one. So if you have a double like free team, I know like Vikemon comes from this one. It's actually a pretty good ability for using double Vikemon. Raise own characters by AP at start of battle if ally character has data. So you can pair anything from this dim with like a Examon, for example, and just actually get a pretty decent boost. So that's kind of good. And Examon also increases the teammates. Its best ability is going to increase its teammates' ability by 20%. So you actually get like a huge HP boost if you want to play that. So it's dated, but it is still usable. I would highly recommend like checking out some of the stuff on the Angormon dim. There's some great mons with great stats in that dim. The abilities aren't great though. Jellymon is going to be roughly the same thing, except for you have double cross, which is going to increase your attack damage by 12%. I really like mons from the Jellymon dim for competing in the 4th battle events, those like single player PvE events. You just get a big like double cross, and you get like a big like attack boosting teammate, and you just like nuke those PvE bosses. So pretty good dim. I think the Jellymon dim has some fun stuff as well, but I would say again, these two are dated. So this is where we're going to move into like a lot more of like the power creep happening. We're going to see the Rampage of the Beast and the Draconic Blaze dims. So this one is one of the better dims in the game. Just unconditional raises AP by 25% on the Rampage of the Beast. This is great for Mirage Galgamon Burst mode. There's a couple other good mons in this dim as well. I like this one a lot. You also have Sap Life, which is very similar to Lifelink. You just take 15% of your opponent's character's HP. Really good stuff. You have the Lifelink as well, like we were talking about. All these are all really good. Rampage of the Beast is one of, I think, the best BE memories in the game. And if you guys want me to do like a tier list where I rank all of the dim cards in the game so you guys can know which ones you should be getting if you have the option to get these for competitive battles, let me know and I'll try and make that video in the future. But very, very solid dim, very, very good stuff in this dim. There's another ability that I like, and again, it has a really weak double cross. Yeah, I think I've used Grace Novamon, sorry, with double cross, just a decent one. It's not as high of a multiplier as like the SSR ability on Jellymon, but you know, it's definitely usable, and it's great for those single player like PvE 4th battle events. Going into Ionic Blaze, static raises allies character HP by 20%. Really, really good. One of the better abilities in the game, one of the better dims in the game. Some of the best mons in the game come from this dim, like Examon. Magnikidmon still usable as well. Shine Greymon Burst Mode, very, very solid vaccine mon. Some of the best vaccine mons and data mons in the game come from this dim right here. And yeah, it's just really, really solid. You have a lifelink that raises your HP by 30%. It's really good on like Examon. But yeah, you also have like lifelink that can, you know, it's weird. This dim is one of the weird ones. You have an SR ability lifelink that can raise by 20%, but then you have an SSR ability lifelink that does the same thing but 5% less. It's just coded weird, but this 30% one is a better one, and it's easier to get if you, it will take you less ability tickets. You also have like double guard, which is really good on like a bulky Magnikidmon to lower your double attack damage received by 10%. So the difference in using like a double guard here versus like a double guard here is that like the mons in this one don't have the best typings or best stat lines, but the mons in this one, there's like data mons that are really good, like Examon, Magnikidmon's really, really bulky. So I think that, you know, just taking a look at like combining your abilities, combining your types, combining your base stats, you can get something really, really unique and special. And the Rampage of the Beast and Draconic Blaze Dim, some of the best dims in the game. So Holy Wings dim, this is and the Forest Guardian. These are both really, really cool dims. I like these a lot. Bunch of good stuff from these. I would say once we get to here, because we the meta started out with those like first 4 that we looked at, and then we got the Jellymon, you know, and the Angormon, and then we got the Rampage of the Beast and Draconic Blaze, and then the meta kind of stagnated with those for a long time, and then we got like a huge surge starting with like the Holy Wing and the Forest Guardian dim, and this is where basically anything could be good in my opinion. But I really think that the Wonder is a good one because you're going to give you a 30% boost to your BP as long as you hit like excellent on your mini game. So that's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. These conditional ones where your opponent has to have like, they have to start with like a vaccination mon. These are usually not that good abilities. People are going to see when they get into a game. Like if you have the SSR, they know what that is. They're like, okay, I just won't lead with my vaccine mon. And then you get no boost. These ones where you have 15% boost, if your ally has like a free or data attribute, I think those are definitely still usable. But you know, not as good as just a 30% stat like booster. You can use them as a support mon. These are more of a support mon ability, so they're going to be enabling like better free mons. These are really, really good to pair. I've paired this with Vikemon before. I've paired it with Ukamon, very, very solid. I paired this with Examon, so it's definitely usable. But I will also say these ones where like you get a big boost like your BP, your AP, or your HP if your opponent's main character has a specific attribute. Those are really, really good in the 4th battle like single player event. So it's not that they're unusable, but if you happen to get one, just save it and use it for those PvE events. Really, really easy. Forest Guardian, I love this dim. I love this dim a lot. I really like a lot of the mons in this dim. Kobby Terrymon's one of my favorite lines. Unfortunately, while the stat lines on a lot of this there's a lot of the dims on this mons on this dim are great. I really don't think the abilities are that good at all. They're really, really not that great. So the best one is a double guard, which is going to lower the damage you receive by double attacks by 20%. Tyrant Kobby Terrym has one of the highest base stats in the game, but it just can't, it doesn't really have the multipliers, right? These are all like HP and defensive multipliers, right? So it kind of sucks that like Tyrant Kobby Terrym has to be like a tank that can't really deal damage, but it makes a lot of sense. I don't think any of these other ones are that great. I've used the raise his own HP by 50% at the start of the battle if the character has a free attribute, pairing it with like another character like a big Ukamon, or I think I did it with like Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode before. That was pretty nice. But I do think the best one is going to be like lower damage received from double attacks by 20%. But anytime you can get like an HP multiplier on a mon that has a really, really high base HP, it's going to be good stuff. So solid dim. I like this one a lot. It's one of my favorites. Moving on to what is probably the best dim in the game is going to be the Lugon Dim. So this thing has so many good abilities. You can go for the Ultra ability, which is raises your own HP by 30% at the start of battle if the allied character has the same attribute. So you're going to see mons like, let's go take a look at some of these stats up here, looking for the Lugon Dim. And if we go to the Lugon Dim, you know, we have access to the, you know, jog rest version of Fenrir Lugamon, but like honestly, for the longest time, for maybe almost a year, people would just use 2 of these guys, they would get double 30% AP boost, and they would just roll you over. And that was like the meta in all of the competitive tournaments, because they just have the same like virus attribute. You just use 2 of the same thing, and it would be easy peasy GG. So you can still do that. It's awesome. It's really, really good. You just roll people over. You also have the ability to go like these SSR ability now. It's a really, really good ability since we have the release of the Ryudamon and Dorumon Dim. You can just raise your ally character by 20%. That's like the best ability from the Draconic Blaze Dim on an already really, really amazing Dim. And then all of these other ones are the conditional ones, but there's still a 33% boost, which is way higher than all the other ones. They give like 15, 20s, you know, 15, 25. This is like a 33% boost. So there is like reasons to do it. So if you know you're gonna be playing against everyone that's using Lugamon, just lock in the one that, you know, raises your own AP by 30%, 33% if your main or opponent's main character is a virus, right? So there are so many good things that you can do. This is probably the best Dim for the game. All of these abilities from the SR level are good, right? And it's just really, really awesome. I will also say, this is just a little bit of an off-topic thing. Ever since I think the Holy Wing Dim, maybe even a little bit earlier. Now I think from the Holy Wing Dim, they really increased the good abilities, the ability to pull like SR or better abilities from these fully evolved like perfect level Digimon. So, you know, you might have to waste like a million ability tickets on any of these older ones trying to get like a somewhat decent ability, but if you evolve something, you're probably just going to get like an SR ability or better, especially if you get to like a perfect level or higher. So just so you know, it's going to take you a lot less ability tickets on these newer Dims, and I really think that's a good, like, you know, just change. Like it just makes the game go a lot faster. Let's take a look at the Ryudamon and Dorumon Dim. I think these are really, really good. These end in the Alphamon fully Evo, and these make really, really good partners for any Lugamons, especially when you give Alphamon that 20% AP boost. That's really, really solid. I think it's just so nice. I think, though, that if we're taking a look at these, raising your own AP by 30% if attack minigame score is excellent. That is amazing. So it's like really, really aggressive. And the Dorumon is the foil, the defensive foil. It raises your own BP by 30%. I'm kind of referencing these two together because they both end with the same line, which is going to be this Alphamon over here. So you have basically, you can go like a really, really aggressive Alphamon or a really, really defensive Alphamon. Right now, I've been using a really defensive Alphamon, and I really, really like it. It lets me just kind of control the game a little bit more, go for a big W attack, and then my teammate basically has like a huge advantage going into the late game. That's what I've been using. But I think all these are good. I think these are all good. It's just really, really solid set of Dims. Alphamon's a great mon. I think we're starting to see a lot more of the meta where we see like double Alphamon or Alphamon Lugamon stuff. So really, really solid stuff. I think that these are definitely Dims you should pick up if you have the option to. So let's take a look at the D3 white and yellow. These are the Digimon 02 like, you know, remake Dims that have like a lot of like fan favorite Dims on them. I will say they're not as competitive as some of the other ones like the Lugamon, the Holy Wings Force Guardian, and the Dorumon Ryudamon Dims, but they are still really, really fun. These are where a bunch of like the weird abilities go. So like we see a lot of Sap Life. Let's take a look at the white and yellow first. We see Sap Life just lowers your opponent's character's HP by 20%. So if you pair that with something that has like a huge multiplier or has like a huge burst potential, you can just nuke something like really early. You take like one attack, get like stage 2 of a W attack, and just they're just donezoed. So it's really, really fun. I like these sort of Dims, especially for the like fun Discord level tournaments that we play where we kind of like ban the top 20 like most used mons, and we have to use like Digimon of a specific color or rank. The Dims from the mons from this Dim are just really, really fun to use. You also see like a raise your own HP by AP by 35% if they have like a vaccine attribute. That's a really high multiplier for that one. The other ones are 33. You also see like lower level like double crosses, so that's fine. I mean, these are all like viable abilities. Even like it's the worst ability they have, lowers your damage with double attacks by 8%. That's one of the better abilities on the Draconic Blaze Dim. So you can just see like how far the game has come in terms of like power creep to where even like the bad abilities on these new Dims are better than some of the old ones. So yeah, it's a great set of Dims. Really, really good mons on both of these too. So yeah, high base stats and stuff. So let's take a look at the white and red. This one says, raises own AP by 30% at the start of battle if ally character has the same attribute. This is probably my favorite ability in the game. Really, really good mons that come out of the white and red one. So if we go take a look at that up here, D3 white and red. And again, I could go into like a full video where I break down like what mons you should be getting and like what good teams are. If you guys want to see a video like that, let me know. But really, really good mons. So we have like, Imperial Dramon Paladin mode, like big vaccine, great base stats. We have big Ukamon if you want to go free. We have the Armageddon if you want to go free again. I think we also have like another free mon. So this one's vaccine. There's another good free mon. I think it's up here. Yeah, so Imperial Dramon fighter mode. And then we also have the Valkymon. So like this is where all the good free dims, like free nature dims come from, other than like Vikemon and like the Angormon tree. But it's a really, really cool dim, and I think that like being able to go for like double free and get a 30% boost to both your HP, both stacking the same ability without any weaknesses, that's one of my favorite abilities, and it's only possible through this dim. So really, really cool stuff. Yeah, I don't necessarily think any of these other ones are great. But, lowers own damage taken from dual attacks by 15% if own defense minigame score is good or better. That's pretty good, but it means you can't pivot. So, it's okay. It's an okay ability, but I think this best one is the raise HP by 30%. You got to build a specific team for it. And the last one is the Pulsemon dim for now. We don't know if we're getting any more dims. I have this dim, but I haven't actually, used it yet. But this is what you can use to Jogress with the Lugamon to get the Super Lugamon, which is honestly a really, really good looking Digimon. So this one says raises own HP by 30%, 35% at start of battle if own HP is lower than opponent's main character HP. So that's going to be lifelink, and a lot of the mons on this dim don't have like the highest base HP, so you could definitely use that. But I think most people when they play mons from this dim, I've been seeing a lot of people just use Sap Life and go for those combos where you take 15 to 20% of their HP away at the start. You have a really, really high bursty mon, and you just go for an early W attack, and you just take them out before they can W attack you back. It's very, very solid. You can see this one though, I think that both of these boosted by BP by 15% abilities are okay, but I'd rather see boost to AP and HP than BP in my opinion. These are also these other abilities that are given 33 and 30% boost if your opponent has a specific type of Digimon. Again, I don't really recommend those for competitive play because your opponent just sees that you have an SR congeniality and they just don't lead with those. Because you can see the type of ability your opponents have at the start of every single game. So that being said, those are all of the abilities in the game. If you guys have any questions on, I have this Digimon and I want to use this teammate, what ability should I use? Let me know in the comments below and I'll let you know what I think. If you guys like this video, want to see more discussion videos like it, let me know in the comments as well. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.